we are working with them to accelerate their growth. We also, these startups also span a variety of different domains. So for example, Nivi is one of our portfolio companies. They're building a chatbot that is used by millions of people in Kenya, India, and in sub-Saharan Africa. We have a company called Matchbook, in which we've invested in. They're deploying artificial intelligence to help companies solve difficult data problems. As I said, we also have had some strategic partnerships. Of course, all of you will be aware of IBM. We've been working with Seb1, which is now an IBM company, for the last 4 years. It's a very successful partnership. But we also work with Tango and VTS, which are both big companies and mature companies that rely on Jeveio to help accelerate product development. So I will now just talk a little bit about our technology stack. So we support a wide variety of different technologies, but in general, as I mentioned, our focus is on having effective engineering practices and using well understood technologies. So you'll see a lot of logos on this slide that you are very familiar with. We do full stack development using JavaScript. We have a number of portfolio companies using Java. We have a growing Ruby on Rails practice. And on the front end, we have applications using Angular, React, pretty much every industry standard technologies. We train our people on cloud computing, AWS, GCP. So you'll see that, our approach is to use the right tool for the right job. We don't say that we are a Java company. We don't say that we specialize in one particular technology. We understand the needs of our portfolio companies, and we make sure that we use the right technology. As an engineer, you will be trained. Our graduate program is quite structured. It includes soft and hard skills, and you will be trained in the technology which is aligned with what we think your interests are, what we think your strengths are, and aligned with our portfolio company's requirements. So thank you very much. And please, if you have any questions, drop us a line in the chat. So over to you, Swati, I believe.
Yeah, thank you, Rishi. A very warm welcome to all of you. I'm Swati Oja. I'm heading talent management at Jeveio. And I'm here to talk about something which binds us all together. Yes, as you can see on the slide, I'll be giving you a glimpse on the Jeveio culture, which is very unique. And I would like you to understand that how different we are and what makes us all a passionate, growing tribe. So the team size of Jeveio is presently around 170 plus. We are spread across Vadodara, Pune, and a couple of team members are definitely working remotely. So the lockdown, the pandemic has made us all come together from different locations. So that's how we are spread. Coming back to the culture part, we're unique in terms of how we work. Definitely, we have a great tech stack. We have a good client base. We give global exposure. But how we work is very different and unique. So we have an approach of a collaborative environment wherein we have very fair and open practices in whatever we do, whatever we follow. We focus on empowerment and empathy of all our team members. Again, the focus remains on smart work-life balance. We are again having many fun and engaging work activities because, as we all know, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So definitely the fun factor is never missing. In fact, that holds a very high quotient at Jeveio. So to share a few glimpses, Jagdish, can you please move to the next slide? So I just tried to give you some glimpses of our office floor, wherein people are enjoying working, collaborating together. We enjoy fun Fridays, which definitely gives us break from the routine activities, but definitely help us to bond very strongly as a team and emerge out as one big Jeveio family. And we're eagerly waiting to have you on board. Okay, great. So this slide definitely is something very special to us because the pandemic has brought us together in a very different way. We were working from the comfort of a zone, but definitely we never lost collaboration. In fact, I'm happy to say that we found our collaborative skills developed to the next level, right? So you can see the happy faces. They speak all about us. Any questions related to culture, the work environment, please feel free to drop it down in the Dropbox. Thank you. Over to Jagdish.
Thanks, Swati. All right. So why should you guys be considering Jeveio? I think you might have heard a lot about Jeveio and the Jeveio campus drive and what the kind of value that we have brought into to the lives of almost like 52 plus interns that have come through through the Jeveio campus program over the past 5 years that we have been doing this. So we offer a platform for you guys to launch your careers in and get you to that level which you aspire to, and you want to go on and build out your careers at Jeveio. So the first and foremost, we work on exciting products. This is a unique combination of like what Uday was mentioning earlier, a unique combination of services and product development company. So usually if you get into a product development company, you probably are tied down to one single product. Whereas at Jeveio, because we work with multiple products, you get the opportunity to explore and different exciting products which are using the latest in the technologies, tools, and systems. Just by the virtue of being a startup, they don't come with baggages of year-old technologies like tens and thousands of years old dinosaur technologies that you will find in quite a bit of the services companies around, which I won't be naming any of them, but you might end up in one of those large companies where you are forced to work on mainframe technologies as well in this day and age. But then at Jeveio, we have a very, very different exciting proposal of the latest in technology stacks, just the virtual startups coming in with wanting to use the latest to create the disruption in the industry that they are working on. While we do that, we also come in a wide range of experience working with large companies as well as small, and our development practices are tuned to provide the best outcome for the product at all points in time. So our practices ensure that we bring in the agility of the startups with the enterprise grade quality that is required for making sure that the products stand up to the test of time whenever they are put to the test in the production environments. We believe in a very, very supervision-less culture, by which I mean that we want you guys to take the ownership of the work that you're doing and be accountable for whatever the work that you are committed to deliver to the customers. And that happens from day one of you coming onto the Jeveio team. So everyone within the Jeveio team member takes the total ownership of the process as well as the outcome, what they are working upon, and make sure that it is aligned to the best of the product's requirements. We have a very transparent and stress-free work environment. Don't follow multiple project plans like a lot of services companies that I won't name do. Where there is a project plan for the customers to look at, and there is a project plan for the internal teams to go by and work with. Over here at Jeveio, we want to keep it as transparent as we can to the customers, and at all points in time, you will be directly working along with the customers, the product managers and the business owners of the various products that you're engaged with. And making sure that they are aware about what the challenges are or the progress that has happened so far on any of the product environments. And in doing so, we want to make sure that there is a good work-life balance for everyone in the process. We don't want people to stretch out or stress out in the process of trying to deliver things for the customers. So the emphasis is on making sure that you plan out things up ahead and keep the honesty and transparency with the customers, so that we all can work together and make sure that we can turn around the things that we have picked up for the deliveries at any given point in time. And unlike 10,000, 20,000 people companies, here at Jeveio, everyone's views and ideas matter. And you will be required to bring in your ideas, and you will be like heard and listened to in trying to bring up the ideas. So we don't distinguish, or we don't discriminate between a junior on the team versus a 20-year-old seasoned developer on the team. Everyone's ideas is important for us, and believe it or not, but most of the changes that and the disruptions that have come into the industry have started with small ideas coming in from people who are new to that industry. And we look forward to you coming in with your ideas and your thoughts and the small innovations that you can introduce into the process. And challenge the status quo on each and every product that you are working upon to make it better and take it to the next level. That's what we look for from you guys when you come on to work at Jeveio. And there are a multitude of different software development opportunities that exist at Jeveio, including front and back end development, which is like the common things that you would have seen or known or experienced or heard about. We do have mobile products that we work with, so you get the opportunities to work upon mobile technologies as well, and as well the latest in the DevOps and systems engineering practices and the cloud environments that we work with give you the exposure to working on the latest of the tech stacks that is there around. And then we are also looking for product managers or product owners or disciplines on product management side as well that are there as a part of our team, who help in taking the customer views or the customer requirements to the software developers and helping them to build out the products which meet customer expectations at all points in time. Any questions, do drop in a line over there on the chat, and we will be happy to answer those. I'll pass on to Ankit.
Jagu, before you do that, Jagu, and I'm just seeing that we are encouraging people to ask questions. Please post your questions on the chat. Right? Is that the only mechanism, Jagu, to really post the questions?
Yeah.
Right, so definitely encourage people to put out your questions. I'm sure there are a lot of questions. We are keeping good enough time towards the end to answer your questions. So feel free, don't hesitate to bring up your questions. And one other thing also, Yash was going to be speaking a little bit later, but I think he has to go on. So I would like to request Yash to at least share some his thoughts about Jeveio and what our mission is, and then I'll ask Ankit to take it on from there. But meanwhile, I'll encourage everybody to start posting your questions on the chat.
Yeah, yes, thank please. You. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes,
can you hear me?
Yes.
Jagu, go back one slide. I think no, the one that says why work at Jeveio. Okay. I was just listening to all the comments, and I think the best way I describe sometimes is that think of Jeveio as a venture capital company, but instead of venture capital, we are providing venture services. So we are focusing on early stage companies, startups that are solving all kinds of very interesting problems. And sometimes in this world, money is easier to get, but talent is hard to get. And so we help the startups with that resource of really precious talent that they need to build a very good product. We all come from that background. Just about everybody you see here on the panel have worked with each other for 20 years. So we are all believe in relationships. So that's the proof in how we how we put the team together. And the other thing is, I think about not only as a venture capital company or venture services firm, but think of it also as working for a startup without the risk that is associated with the startup. Because we are a very mature company, we are doing very well, but we get to work with different startups. So you get to experiment working with the startups and work, and depending on how time it is, you can move on to a different startup project, but you don't have the traditional risk that is associated when you work for a startup. So it's a sort of best of both worlds for you folks. So I think again, so that's very important. We work with all because of the fact that we work with startups, as Rushi identified, we get to work with different technologies. We get to really get inspired by different problems that people are solving, and that's what makes it a really a fun place, and why you should consider working for Jeveio. Okay, so I'll be back, and hopefully, if I'm back, I can answer more questions. Thank you, David.
Great. Thanks, Yash.
Yash.
Over to you.
Thank you. All right. So, who are we looking for? So we are looking for like-minded people who are really passionate about software engineering craft, and that goes beyond just simply writing code, right? Because every software developer in the world would be writing code, but that doesn't mean that they'll be building great softwares or building great products, right? And what you would be looking like, what you would be doing is embedding the quality at the right at the time of development itself, thinking about the best engineering practices when you are writing the code, because it's your code that will be adding much more value, and you will be working along with the rest of the team as well, and everyone has to understand the code that you write, right? And that is true to for yourself as well. Your code will be dependent upon other modules or other team members code as well, so you'll end up often reading your code much more than the writing the code, right? So thinking about documentation, thinking about maintainability of the code, all of that really matters, and that is what would really help you stand out in terms of being a great software developer. And it is as simple as bringing that passion to building the product, right? And when you go out in the market to buy a new product, right, you would want the product to work as per your expectation, the best of the quality, and that is what the end users would look for. So if you don't have that passion for the craft, you'll not be able to take pride in what you build. So that is what we would want you to bring to the table in terms of the passion to build the products. Building softwares, building products is not a single man's job. So it is a teamwork, and especially the collaboration is of the prime importance when you're working with your peers. Understanding different individual personalities and understanding different backgrounds that they come from, or the skill set that they would bring to the table, or the proficiency in terms of the technical skill sets. Putting your team first, and then it is always we versus I. That is what will make you a great team player, and that is the attitude with which you should come on board and work with the rest of the teams as well. Communication skills are essential, because most of the times it will be a distributed team that you will be a part of, and being able to communicate what you are thinking freely and openly, and being able to influence the decisions or contribute to the decisions is going to be key. So not keeping your thoughts to yourself and having utmost clarity in what you are trying to portray is going to be key, working along as part of a global team. As Jagdish and Rushi have already talked about, we don't stick to individual stacks. What we look for is building robust software development foundation. The industry trends or the technologies keep on changing very frequently. So once you have got your foundation right, adapting to a newer technology or newer trend is not going to be a problem at all. So that is the kind of mindset that you should have in terms of keep on learning and keep on improving at every opportunity that you have. Okay, so this is the overall timeline that we have for the campus drive. I'll talk about today, that is the webinar orientation on 25th of August, right? Going forward, the important dates for this process is going to be 29th, Monday is going to be the round one of the technical assessment, wherein you will be required to be in your college or the university to take on the online technical assessment, which is going to be roughly of 90 to 120 minutes. You'll have the details later in the day via an email that will be sent out to all of you, which will have all those details. But essentially, we will be required to be present in your college campus and take the test under the supervision of the college staff, as well as we'll have the GVO team members as well present in the labs along with all of you to help you with any queries or anything that you might have. So that is the round one of the assessment. By the end of the day or towards the evening on 29th, the shortlisted students would receive an email as an invite to the follow-on test on 30th of August. That will be the round two of the technical assessment. This is going to be again, you'll be required to be present in your college premise to take this again online test, and it will be under the supervision of the college staff as well as the GVO team members out there in the university. And again, at GBO office on 1st or 2nd of September if you are shortlisted post the 29th, 30th coding rounds or the technical assessments rounds that we have. To take the technical assessments, and the shortlisted students out of those two rounds will be required to come over to the GBO office for a face-to-face technical discussion along with the technical members at GBO on 1st and 2nd of September. And post that, whoever is shortlisted for the HR and the fitment round will be notified by an email and again be required to be present at the GBO office on 3rd of September. And post all the HR fitment interviews and discussions, the final list of shortlisted students would have the offers that they need to sign up for. Okay, a few pointers for the test that you will be taking up on 29th and 30th of during from your college or the campus is please avoid taking the test from the mobile devices. Please use your computer desktop or the laptop. Use the standard browsers like Chrome or Firefox with one of the latest versions that you would have. You can expect that you would have MCQ as well as coding questions in the round one of the test. So make sure that you go through the FAQ that would be made available to you prior to the start of the test. So you understand what the capabilities of the platform are, what's the navigation, and how do you use the platform. And before you attempt any of the test, make sure that you are thoroughly reading the questions and understand what is the ask before you attempt it, right? And just a word of caution on the coding section. The accuracy of the code is of prime importance. Sure, the code is working as expected. If you want to add any thoughts, please put in the comments section. Like you add a inline comments onto the code as part of your code snippet itself. Like any assumptions that you have made or what you are trying to do, even if it is not working, what is the logic that you are trying to put in is something that would be really helpful when we try to take a look at the code that you have written. Right. So this is about the round one of the coding assessment. And once you are shortlisted on the round one, there would be a follow-up coding test that will be made available to you as part of the round two technical assessment, the shortlisted candidates or the shortlisted students. Okay, this is like a no-brainer. Please don't try to copy at all. We have robust plagiarism checks put in place, so it will automatically flag up if you have tried to break the system, or if you have to try cheating in any form, that is either looking on the internet and copying pasting on the code snippet. In your technical discussions, please be very crisp and concise to what you want to say, right? Though there is no point in beating around the bush. If you know something, please be upfront about it. If you don't know about it, that's okay. It is okay to pass it on and say that you don't know about it, right? Guesswork is not going to help you take or succeed in any of these discussions or filtrations that you have. On the right, it is like be yourself, be true to your capabilities, be confident about your answers, or be confident about while attempting the coding section or any of the tests in general, right? And please make sure that you understand the time that is allocated to each of the tests that is there. plan your time ahead of starting the test so that you know how do you want to make the best use of this time that is allotted to you, right? Otherwise you might end up not attempting a few questions but running out of time. Yeah, that's all.
All right. I do see a lot of questions which have come through on the chat. So Rishi, you want to
Yeah.
moderate that and take a few questions for us?
So yeah, sure. So I think the questions sort of break down into some broad categories. I've tried to answer some of them live on the chat. So we'll do this. There are questions around work from home, remote working, etc. There are questions around technologies that we use. There are questions around the coding test and what that will be and what that will involve. So what I would like to do is ask Nimesh first to answer questions around work from home. So there's so for example, Neil Butt here asked, does Jeveio have remote work facilities? We have some questions around just if you could, Nimesh, if you could give us an idea of what Jeveio's position is on working from home, remote working, hybrid working, etc. Thank you.
Yeah, during pandemic and during lockdown scenarios, we have allowed people to work from home, remote working. Situations are now changing. We are back to offices. We always wanted to collaborate people when they are in the offices with their respective teams. So that is a thought process we carry, that now we are expecting people to again come back to offices and start working from the offices. That is the first preference we have. But if people have some medical emergencies or any other kind of unforeseen circumstances, we do accommodate request of people. Hope this helps, because we have started working from offices in Baroda as well as Pune. We have 2 locations where our people work and our teams are placed.
To add to that, Nimesh, what just Nimesh said, especially for this team, right? You are just about starting your career. And, in the college days also, I'm not sure how much have you been able to go work as a team in the college time as well. So while we offer enough flexibility, but it would be good for your own careers and for your own sake for you to take the opportunity to come in person and work as a team, collaborate with other people. That will make you better software developers. So especially the team that came in last year, the campus team, that they particularly worked from office. And while we have much more flexibility as we go forward, but we would encourage you all to do your best to and try your best to see if you can be there in person. That would be our primary preference.
Yeah. Great. Thank you, Nimesh and Uday. Along similar lines, before we go into the technical questions, there's also a few questions about if we have formal internship training and what is the internship and training before joining the company. So Jagdish, would you be able to address what our internship program looks like and what that involves?
Yeah. So whatever you guys are going to go through is going to be very unique in what we bring onto the table. So we have a very comprehensive learning path set out for individuals, and we work along with everyone on their, as soon as they are ready to join the internship towards the end of the year, either December or January, depending upon when your college is allowing for the internships to start. Some of the colleges like MS University, I believe they don't have the internship in their final semester. But most of the other colleges, they do have a full semester internship, which they are supposed to be there for.
Jaggu,
yeah.
A small correction. From this year onwards, MSU people are also coming for an internship.
Excellent. So in which case, then we will have all of you, whoever is selected, joining in for the Jeveio internship. And it is mandatory for you to be going through the Jeveio internship program to be able to join the Jeveio as a company, because that helps us to build out your base and foundation to make sure that you can be productive from the day one when you're ready to join the company as a full-time employee. So that internship period depends upon the college requirements. but it usually starts from December and goes on through till about end of April or so. In this period, you will be going through multitude of classroom sessions, as well as self-learning, as well as doing things, building softwares, and experiencing what you need to do on an ongoing basis through the career that what you have chosen for yourself as software developers or people in the software development field overall.
Okay.
And
Thank you very much.
yeah.
So just to add to what Jagdish said is that over the last, we've been running graduate programs since 2017. So this will be our fifth year, I believe, of fifth graduate cohort. So we've also looked at various different ways in which we can run an effective internship program. This includes running standalone projects, having people embedded in existing project teams, and so on. So we have a good idea of how to position the internship program to have you ready to hit the ground running when you start as a full-time software engineer at Jeveio. We take our graduate and internship program very seriously, and we want to make sure that you have a positive and enriching experience through the internship period. Okay, so I'm going to address some questions around technology here. A number of good questions, including do you have any AI ML based roles? Do you do any blockchain development? Do you do any IoT development, and so on? In general, there are a number of questions about people asking about specific technologies. And the answer to those questions is that we are 100% focused on solving business problems for our portfolio companies, right? Technology in isolation doesn't mean anything. You can build the fanciest convolutional neural network or transformer or generative AI model, but if it doesn't make money, what is the point of doing it, right? So we are laser focused on solving business problems, on working with our portfolio companies and effectively deploying technology. So the broad answer to the question is that we do not specialize in IoT or ML or anything like that. We train our people to be effective problem solvers and software engineers. Now, you pick what is the right tool, or we work together to pick what is the right tool to solve the problems. In some cases, it is AI or ML. In some cases, it might be something more standard like Java, for example, right? So having said that, we have companies that have used, so for example, we build a number of apps that use augmented reality and machine learning. We've deployed natural language processing at scale that uses deep learning and traditional machine learning based approaches. We are currently working on a company that is building on top of the Algorand blockchain, right? So, but all of these companies are solving a business problem. We are not picking a project because it is based on blockchain or ML or whatever. We take very seriously what is happening in the market. We look at what we think are the trends, what we think portfolio companies 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line will be using, and we work on building in-house expertise on those technologies. So I hope that answers some of those questions. So we, in general, there isn't a path which says there is like you're going to be an ML engineer or a blockchain engineer or whatever. You are going to be a problem solver, you're going to be a software engineer or a business analyst or a systems engineer, and we will support you in that journey. And over a period of your career, you might one day work on an ML-based project, the next day on blockchain, next day on something, a full stack JavaScript project, right? The key thing that we look for is solid software engineering and problem solving skills. So I hope that answers some of those questions. Okay, so we have a number of other questions around the total number of openings, around the salary ranges, and we also have a very specific question. It's an interesting question where somebody has asked that they have been working part-time or so it says during pandemic, this is from Jyot, during the pandemic, we have seen companies providing developer jobs to students remotely. If as a student, we were working since a long time during college, will you consider this as a fresher or experience will be considered for the opportunities? So I think that there's a bunch of different questions which are asking us about the structure of the Jeveio graduate program. So I don't know, Nimesh or Jagdish, one of you address these questions. So just to summarize,
This meeting is being recorded.
Find company and help us in building the right teams for solving business problems that Rishi was mentioning earlier. There is, as such, there is no limit in terms of the number of the people that we would want to have, but we are looking for good developers and good engineers who can add value to the customers that we are working on. As far as the questions about package and the salaries and things go, there is a standard structures that that we have put out or shared with your placement offices, and you should be able to get that information out from them. We offer, as Jeveio, the one thing that I can say that we offer the best of compensations in the industry, and in the Gujarat region specifically as well. So you should not you don't need to worry about what the package is going to be. You are going to be at the best in the industry at Jeveio at any point. As far as the graduate program goes, in terms of experience and will my past experience be considered and so on. So we have never evaluated a person based upon the number of years of experience they carry. At Jeveio, the philosophy is about what is it that you bring onto the table, and how can you add value to the job that you're doing. So we have senior engineers with just 3 years of experience, and we have senior engineers with about 15 years experience as well. So the number of years of experience does not matter. How you can take on the job and execute it confidently and add value to what you're doing determines what your career growth or career path is going to be at Jeveio. So over here right now, we are looking for people who are fresh out of the college, who can come in and learn the trade and grow along with us and build their careers along with us at Jeveio. So if there is anything specific that you bring onto the table, we'll definitely will talk about it in the interactions while we are having over the next few days, and then we can determine where to place you or where to put you into the right place through this process. Okay, and I see a couple of questions related to the business analyst roles as well. So I'll take that as well, Rishi. Business analyst, this session or this round of campus recruitment, we wanted to focus on the bringing in software engineers specifically. So we have opened up the positions or the openings for software engineers specifically in this round. But if you are interested in joining us as a business analyst or as any other opportunity, do attempt the software engineering questions, and then maybe drop us a line at careers@jeveio.com with what your interest levels are. And then maybe we can have a conversation around where you can probably come on to Jeveio as on a different role other than a software engineer specifically.
Yeah, and just to add, the product manager, product owner, business analyst role, we still look for technical aptitude. So it is still going to be, although you may not be doing development from a day-to-day basis, it is still a technical role. We still look for technical problem solving, a basic understanding of computer science, and so that will be still part of the evaluation criteria. To be honest, I started, my first job was as a business analyst, but it ended up being a developer and so on, right? So your path that you start with is not where you end up with, right? So we want to evaluate on problem solving, technical skills, what you've learned and picked up from your university education and so on. So yeah, but please do let us know. Now, there are a bunch of different questions which are asking about the online assessment. These include questions such as what is the, what is involved, what is the level of, do we cover things like data structures and algorithms, what is the length of the assessments, what languages are covered in the assessments, do the MCQ cover core subjects? So Ankit or Shruti, could one of you please give us a little bit more details on what students could expect for the first round of interviews?
Sure.
Sorry, assessments, not interviews. My apologies. Yeah.
Sure, no problem. So the subjects is nothing going to be out of your syllabus, whatever you have studied so far. So it will be a mix and match of the concepts across data structures, operating system, networking, things like that. And it is going to be the MCQs are also going to comprise of cognitive ability assessment questions, as well as logical and aptitude-based questions. And in terms of the standard programming languages that would be put in the platform, it will cover a wide spectrum of languages like Java, JavaScript, Python, C, C++. So you should not be falling short of any of the preferred languages that you might be comfortable with.
Okay. There are also a couple of questions around eligibility criteria. So it says, is there any eligibility criteria for 10th, 12th, or college? So how much weight do we put on academic achievements and how far back we look? So Jagdish, Ankit, could you address this, please?
Sure. We don't have a specific cutoff or a threshold that we have for the educational qualifications, but we do want to have people who have a consistent career or consistent educational background. So whatever the consistency is there in your educational background will be looked at and be noticed while you go through.